Welcome to the road to 1 million US dollars, and let's get right into the Bitcoin chart for today. Now, as always, nothing I say in this video is going to be my personal opinion. I'm only sharing the objective technical analysis and nothing more. Something else I want to point out is that this is going to be a quick market update today because I'm feeling a bit under the weather, guys. So hopefully tomorrow I'm feeling better again. Either way, right here you can see that we are still in this downtrend for Bitcoin. Nothing has changed here, and this is still in the process of bottoming. Besides that, you can see that we are potentially about to close below this critical area of support, sitting from 92 all the way down to 90,000. If we start closing below, the next area of support to the downside is sitting from 87k all the way down to 85,000. In terms of resistance to the upside, that is sitting from 95 all the way up to 97k. But right now, the most important thing is to see if we are actually closing inside this big area of support, or if we are closing below. Moving on to the 12-hour time frame for Bitcoin, here we see this falling wedge pattern is a bullish bias pattern. However, this has not broken out yet. You can see that we are still steadily just rejecting from this descending trend line over and over again, and therefore there is literally no reason to be bullish as of right now. In terms of the level of resistance to break, that is currently sitting right around 92k in the Bitcoin price. In the case that we do break above that level of resistance though, it will set up this price target at 105k. Something else that you should be looking at if we are going to break out is if we are seeing increasing amounts of volume to give us some extra confluence. Besides that, you could also look for some kind of breakout, retest, resumption type structure after we actually start closing candles outside of this pattern, because like I said, right now, this is still in the process of bottoming. Something else I want to point out is this potential bullish divergence that we have here, which is when you have lower lows in the Bitcoin price and higher lows in the RSI momentum indicator. So what I'm looking for is for a clear bottom to start forming while the 12-hour RSI is still above 27. And then we could start to see a short-term reversal here in order to give us a little bit of relief from all of this insanely bearish momentum. Because something noteworthy on this one-day time frame as well is the fact that we are now in deep oversold territory here. And we should really look at some comparisons here, because for example, the last time we were this oversold, we were trading right around this 75k level. Time before that, we were this oversold, we were trading right around 50k. And then the next time before that, we were trading at around 25k in the Bitcoin price, guys. So this only happened a few times in the last few years. Now, moving on to this 4-hour time frame here, we also have a potential bullish divergence, which has not confirmed yet. So once again, lower lows in the Bitcoin price, higher lows in the RSI momentum indicator. Typically, if it confirms, pointing towards us getting a break from all of this bearish price action we saw here recently, either in the form of some choppy sideways price action or potentially some bullish momentum. However, two things, guys. One, first of all, this is not confirmed yet because we haven't seen some back-to-back bullish candle closes here. And besides that, I also want to make very, very clear by this warning emoji that this is actually very high risk to look at this as a bullish setup, because obviously we are in a clear downtrend at the moment, making lower lows and lower highs as of the time of recording. So this simply forces us to be bearish biased on the lower time frames as well as the 1-day time frame. Here you can see as well, we are clearly making lower lows and lower highs over and over again. Currently, we are making a new lower low, but we are just in the process of actually finding a bottom here. However, my bias actually remains that even if we start getting some kind of bounce sometime soon, we have to assume that this is going to end up rolling over into a lower high and a new lower low after that, so long as we are trading below this descending trend line. It is only if we start breaking this descending trend line and putting in some new higher highs, for example, above 106k, that I will once again open my mind about a higher time frame move to the upside for Bitcoin. So long as that is not happening, guys, then we are simply bearish biased on Bitcoin. Moving on to the Bitcoin ETF flow tables. Yesterday, we saw another massive outflow from these Bitcoin ETFs, about $400 million flowing out in a single day of trading. Most of that coming from the BlackRock Bitcoin ETF. So overall, the Bitcoin ETFs are still having a downwards pressuring effect on the Bitcoin price. Moving on to the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, first of all, on the 1 year time frame. On higher time frames, we have taken out most of the downside liquidity here. However, there is still some liquidity sitting around 88, 87, even 84,000 in the Bitcoin price. Now, while there is a bunch of liquidity piling up to the upside on the higher time frames, right now it does not make sense to be targeting that liquidity so long as we are trading below this. Like I said, only once we start breaking this, then we can start talking about this liquidity to the upside being grabbed there. However, in the short term, there is also a bunch of liquidity to the upside at 94K, 95K, and most of the liquidity to the upside is sitting at around 97, 98,000. So either way, this has been today's market update. Sorry if it was a bit shorter than usual today, guys, but I'm feeling a bit under the weather, feeling a little bit sick. So hopefully I will be coming back stronger tomorrow and posting a new analysis for you guys. So either way, thank you very much for watching once again, and I will see you tomorrow in the next one.